So here we are then. Now this will definitely be the game. This is the one. This is the one. There's no way that we can have a restart here, and well, we're gonna see the whole thing now for the semi-finals. Game 1 between Toady and Hallis, and hopefully they're both going to be reasonably happy with their maps this time, and we'll find ourselves seeing this game through with a relatively fair start for both of them. So down to the south of the map this time, in the blue, we have got Hallis playing as the Italians, and up to the north, in the green, we've got Toady also as the Italians. And the map is City of Lakes, and it's a little bit nicer this time. The map's not so fragmented. The landmass is a little bit, a little bit wider in places, and also it's joined in 2 places rather than just the one in the previous map. But hey, the previous map doesn't matter anymore. That is done and gone, and we're never going to see that game played. So this is where it's at. This is what it's about, and we will have another look now at the map and see what it's all about. So yeah, City of Lakes, as I said in the previous game, can be a pain in the ass. If you dock in the wrong place, you can end up docking on a really tiny piddly lake like this. That's why scouting is so important. In fact, because scouting is so important, we'll stick our Fog of War on and see what the players can see. Obviously, you're going to be scouting a little bit with sheep here to try and get as much visibility as possible, as quickly as possible, and obviously to find those initial starting resources, the boars and all of that good stuff. So this map is actually linked in 2 places. The players are joined in 2 places. The top side for Toady will go all the way around here. It is a long way, and I imagine they'll wall it off all the way over here, all the way to Hallis' base. That is a real long route to take, but the left side is much more open. Well, sorry, it's not more open. It is it's connected by a wider landmass. It's still only a matter of 2 or 3 walls to actually wall this off, but this left side, covered in trees, will actually connect the 2 players, and you can see a lot of desert here and a lot of trees in this desert, so making it very easy to wall up and fairly easy to defend that actually. However, this front lake is definitely worth grushing if you get the opportunity, or it's worth controlling, especially in the Castle Age onwards, because this does well, pretty much dissect both players' islands in half. It does break the 2 players up, break the landmass, and this is the lake to dock on if you want to, well, play a little bit more aggressive, perhaps try for a landing a little bit later, and basically control the map. So we've got Hallis putting his dock down here, and well, there's going to be plenty of big fish for him to take. That's the #1 priority at this point in time, but it's also going to be able to give him control of this area, which will help him to see what's going on in this choke point. It's also going to be able to give him visibility on this gold, and maybe even hit this gold from Toady on the front, and of course give him just that center map control, which is going to be nice. Toady's dock going up on this right hand side. Now this is a really safe dock because there's no way that Hallis can grush it at all. He will not be grushing this dock, this lake, unless he builds a dock of his own on that, which means that Toady will have safe fishing. And he will be able to, 4 or 5 fishing ships. I think 4 will probably be the best number. There's not that many big fish in here. He will be able to get 4 fishing ships out and fish in safety, knowing that there's no grush going to come in to this at all. And he's scouted a little bit now, though he cannot say for sure whether this this water is closed or not. I mean, if you look at this, you could think that this is connected. There is actually a landmass here, causing this lake to be completely isolated and on its own. So Toady going for the safe option, Hallis going for the more aggressive kind of map control option, but it's a little bit more risky because he could lose his fishing ships more easily if Toady decides to grush the center. Now I think Hallis' dock is probably in the better position for now if he decides to try and take some water control, and he could do that fairly easily if he walls up this left side. Right side doesn't have to worry too much about walling up for now because it is such a long way around, but if he does decide to wall it again, it's going to be a fairly easy wall for him to do. So if we don't see any feudal galley aggression, we could see reasonably fast castle times from both of these players actually, and with them both playing as the Italians, they will have cheaper upgrades costs as well, and that will be, well, it'll be pretty nice for them if they do decide that actually it's not worth doing a feudal aggression. It's probably best just to fast castle here. So Toady's got his 4 fishing ships out. He's a little bit further ahead of Hallis at the moment in score, but he hasn't clicked up to feudal yet. In fact, he's adding in more villagers now to take some extra wood, and, well, he's still adding in more villagers. So that says to me that, well, he may go for a little bit of a fast castle here. I mean, he's starting to wall this left-hand side up now, and he's delaying his feudal age to get some extra population out and get those extra villagers out. Hallis, on the other hand, going up to feudal already on 26 population, and if you have a look at his build, he is going for, well, a pretty heavy grush build at the moment. I mean, all of his villagers taking wood, though he's not sent any villagers to gold yet. He will do that fairly soon if he will be doing a grush, sending 4 villagers to make a mining camp. He's also adding in that second dock on the front, but if we have a look here, Hallis hasn't actually scouted the dock from Toady. He's got his scout over there, but he's not actually scouted that dock yet, and unless he comes over here on the right hand side, he won't see it. And, well, that means that Hallis is going to have no idea at all where Toady's docked. And at the moment, it seems like he's assuming that he's docking on this center lake. And that's why he's building this second and soon-to-be third dock over here as well. So Hallis is up, and we're going to see galleys coming out in the center. And I think Hallis may be falling into a little bit of a trap here, because Toady's still in the Dark Age, he's still adding villagers in, and he's walled himself on the left side, he's walled himself on the right side, and this grush from Hallis is going to have 0 effect. And look at this, Hallis even palisading this center bit here, thinking that maybe it will link up, but I don't know why he did that actually, because there's absolutely nothing that this leads to. So rather interesting. Third dock coming out as well for Hallis here, and this is where it could get a little bit dicey for Hallis, because if you remember when Hallis played against Robbo, the one game that Hallis lost was where Robbo fast castled and Hallis did the feudal aggression and got nothing from it. So you will see very shortly, Hallis is going to be scouting this lake as best he can. He will find that it's completely closed and that there's absolutely nothing on here from Toady at all. And, well, Hallis may decide to stop galley production and, well, he's stonewalling up. So I think he realizes what's going on. It's probably worthwhile for him to add in a few more fishing ships, but saying that, his docks aren't in the best location. There's not a huge amount of big fish near these 3 docks. It would have been better for him to build a dock over here so that he could take the big fish on the right as well. But you can see now that he obviously realizes there is not a lot going on this lake, and yeah, switching into fishing ship production straight away so that he can try and, well, get back into it in terms of going up to the castle age, because Toady now up to the feudal age. He is sitting a few farms here which seem to be broken for some reason. My farms don't want to display their fully built form, and they are farming absolutely nothing here. I don't know how that's happened, but as I say, Toady gonna fast castle, the blacksmith going up here on the left, and a archery range going up between the 2 walls in no man's land. Toady going to be up to castle age in about 14 minutes and 30 seconds, which isn't going to be a bad time at all. And of course he's going to go up with 4 fishing ships on the water as well, and 34 population. Hallis, on the other hand, I think he knows now what's up, and started to take these berries, not seeding any farms though, instead going for the fishing ships here. But like I say, I don't think it's the best idea to add too many fishing ships, because these fish will be running out very soon. I mean, this one here, down to 75 food. This one on the left, 150. The one up here, 200. But after that's gone, he's going to have to go all the way over here to get his fish, and it's going to be a long way back to his docks. So, as I said before, maybe building a dock on this right side would have been better for him in terms of actually fishing. But as they both walled up, and as well, Toady's going up to the castle age now. Hallis is walled with stone, so I think we may see a pretty long game here, actually. And having this center water control may prove pretty useful to Hallis in the castle age and onwards. But for now, he's wasted a little bit of wood and gold on these galleys for the time being. Like I said, it will give him a little bit of vision over what's going on Toady's side of the base, on the map even. Toady, though, those 2 archery ranges up, and I think what it'll do when he gets up to the castle age, probably add in a siege workshop as well. Now, he's not scouted this stone wall off from Hallis, but as soon as he comes forward here with these archers, he will notice pretty quickly that this is stone walled up, and there's no option really for him to put a dock here and transport around the walls. And again, that's another advantage that Hallis has on this center lake. He can prevent any water attempt. He can kind of nip it in the bud before the dock really goes up. He'll be able to stop any transports getting round as well if Toady tried that. So Toady's now going to, of course, see that stone wall, and he can afford a siege workshop. So he may put a siege workshop up pretty quickly over on this left-hand side. Meanwhile, back at home, though, he could probably get away with adding a second TC pretty quickly. I mean, he's under no real pressure here, and he's against the stone wall off from Hallis, so he may as well take this opportunity to get a little bit of eco going as well. In fact, there's the second TC on this left-hand side. Now, I suppose a tiny disadvantage for Toady with this map generation is that his gold and stone is, you know, fairly far forward, fairly far from his TC, which does mean that, like I said earlier, these galleys would be able to kind of hit this area once they get upgraded with bodkin arrow and war galley. That extra range will be able to give them maybe a little bit of leverage on this gold, but I think Hallis is going to have a little bit of, you know, a more challenging problem to deal with, aside from you know, dealing with that. I think he's going to have to obviously be focused on this forward on the left-hand side. So Toady's getting out a ram, and this village is under a little bit of threat from the water here. But the problem for Toady, he's got no room at all to move. I mean, these trees are really blocking things up over this left-hand side. And whilst he's getting this ram out, Hallis is busy walling up. I mean, he's got the map control here to see what's going on, and obviously that siege workshop is a dead giveaway. And well, the ram's out, and is it going to be able to do a whole lot of damage? Probably not, because Hallis is walling up now, and he's going up to the castle age as well. So sure, he's played very defensively, and he's also kind of playing from, not necessarily from behind, but he is playing from a disadvantageous position, with Toady going up castle first. But Toady's not really been able to make this castle age worth it yet. I mean, he's not really done any eco damage to Hallis, he's not breached his walls or anything like that, and with this wall off here as well, it's bought Hallis enough time to get up to the castle age comfortably. The only problem for Hallis really is whether he'll do the same as he's done in the past, make the same mistakes, and end up investing so much in stone walls and not really trying to push out. And, you know, Age of Empires, usually not the defender's game. Usually it's the aggressor who gets the advantages. And obviously if Hallis keeps walling up behind this and walling up behind this, he's going to end up, you know, blocking out any chance of expansion, really limiting his space on the map. I mean, fortunately for him, he does have gold at the back of his base. He's got plenty of space back here, enough wood as well for now, and plenty of stone, so he should be fine for the time being. He's now up to the castle age as well, and he has got the score lead. Bear in mind, he has actually got a lot more fishing ships, and he has also rebuilt a dock here as well. And well, Toady's tried to get back on the center, or tried to get on the center. He has built a dock here. Now we may see a fire ship coming out or something. A fire ship, by the way, would be a good choice, because fire ships do get buffs in the Forgotten expansion, which means they are a little bit stronger and they are better at dealing with galleys than they otherwise would be. But war galley upgrade for Hallis done, +2 attack and range done as well, so that's bodkin arrow. And Hallis now siege workshop to defend. He will make a mangonel, I imagine, once he gets the wood for it. But he's going for a second TC as well here. He knows he's probably a little bit behind in eco, though saying that, these fishing ships definitely helping out a little bit here. And Toady's base looking still on the 2 TCs for now, and he's getting a little bit more siege out and trying to pressure through these walls a little bit faster as well. Now, if these rams do get through these walls here, Hallis is going to be really unprepared still. And you can see he is spending a lot of resources on this, wasting a lot of villager time, spending a lot of resources walling up. But I mean, he doesn't really have any other options. He couldn't have done any feudal pressure against those walls. But now, of course, that he has these war galleys out, he can really do a little bit of, oh, quite a good amount of damage actually to this forward. If they get in range of the water here, he will be able to do good damage with these war galleys to these archers and to this siege. But as I say, it is a matter of time before Toady gets through these walls, and Hallis just needs to buy himself that time to defend. Now, he's still making no military. He is just defending with one mangonel for the time being. But with this center water control, he should be getting enough of an eco advantage to keep him level at this stage in time. Now, stable going up for Toady back at home. He's also taking a lot of stone here, so we may see a castle from him fairly soon. I mean, that's quite a few villagers on stone there. Hallis as well, with a lot of villagers on stone. And he too, very nearly up with a castle here. Toady's got to be very careful though. Mangonel's shot will do a lot of damage to these crossbows. And these guys do have 7 range, so that is the same as the Mangonel. But really, there's very little space that Toady can move into without being under pressure here. Of course, these war galleys dealing with the crossbows easily, and Hallis as well defending very nicely with this mangonel, taking down Toady's mangonel on the left and flattening these battering rams on the left side as well. So far, one mangonel and a few stone walls have been enough for Hallis to defend, and Toady's forward completely dealt with, and you know, that looked really easy for Hallis to do, and that is of course just because of one mangonel behind a stone wall, and it was pretty easy for him to defend that, let's be honest. I mean, it did cost him quite a lot of resources, and maybe slowed down his economy a little bit, obviously taking a lot of stone here. But Hallis will very soon have enough for a castle, and you know what I think would be a great idea? A landing, and he's going to do just that. Transport ship coming out from this dock in the center here, and you know, as now he has this this center control, like I said at the very start of this game, having control of this center lake in the Castle Age onwards is going to be much more useful than having it in the feudal age. So whilst Hallis did invest a lot of resources into making galleys early on, and it was pretty much for nothing at the feudal age, now that they're in the Castle Age, this center control is much more valuable, and now Hallis has it. He can do this transport across with these villagers. So 5 villagers going to go over, and there's absolutely nothing that Toady can do to really from happening. I mean, he's got no water control at all, so what can he do? Well, Toady's putting up a castle right on the water, and as if he would put it there, literally inches from Hallis's castle. What a fantastic little coincidence there. That was really good. And Hallis actually going to go back. I don't believe that. Toady, perfect timing on that castle. He could not have put that castle down at a better time, and he is rushing to get that up as quickly as possible there, and of course that will help him to regain a little bit of control on this water. And well, I think his intention here is to try and get a dock up or two, so he can try and take this water back. So there's the dock going up in the shadow of the castle, and Hallis just retreats back to his island. Oh, what is going on? I mean, honestly, he went over there to build the castle. His villagers got there, saw the castle from Toady, like, just ran away. They just got back in their transport ship and went home. And that obviously is a bit of a problem for Hallis now, because he really needed that castle on Toady's side to start pressuring Toady back at home, because at the moment, sitting behind his walls, he's letting Toady have a free boom, and that is obviously not what he wants. So these docks going up for Toady now, 3 on the left hand side, and Hallis is going to have to start making more war galleys, but he's not, and I think that could be a really big mistake from him. He's got up to 4 TCs back at home, and he's got a lot of wood, a lot of gold. He should be spending that on war galleys at this point in time, because at the moment he's got 4 war galleys on the water, and he's seen that castle from Toady. I mean, that should be a sign that your opponent's about to put some docks up. And yeah, Toady's going to be sticking those docks up now. He's going to be going for the war galleys any moment. I don't know why he's not yet, but he's also going up to the Imperial Age as well. Now, he's going up to the Imperial Age really early here. His economy is not big enough. He should have quite a few more villagers than this. But if he can afford it, then fair enough. Bear in mind that the Italians do get 10% discount on their upgrade costs. So I guess, you know, going Imperial, it's not such a bad decision. But, I mean, really, he should be keeping his economy going strong because he's not got enough villagers at this point in time. This tournament is a 300 population cap tournament, so they can go all the way up to 300 rather than the normal 200, which means you're going to want to have about 150 to 170 villagers by the end game. And at the moment, Toady is about, what, 75 villagers perhaps, which is really small amount. You know, he should really be building more villages at this time. And I keep saying really because I'm really trying to stress my point at this stage. Hallis, though, you know, you see him in a lot of these games going up to 4 TCs. In fact, he's going up to 5 TCs now, and that's because he wants to make the most of that population cap. He can go well above the 100 villagers mark and really just get those villagers out and make his economy much stronger. You see he's got 1,000 score lead at this point in time, and that's literally because his economy is huge. He's going up to the Imperial Age as well on 117 population, and Toady now still making those war galleys. He is going to be Imperial any moment, and we will see the galleon upgrade coming in. I think at that point he should be able to regain water very quickly, and that's going to be a ton of resources lost for Hallis actually, because Hallis did make a lot of fish traps here, and although fish traps are pretty useless to fishing ships, they are, well, they're not useless. They gather very slowly from them, but they do have a lot of food and cost relatively little wood for the amount of food you get out of them. They're worth making if you've got the fishing ships lying around doing nothing. But Hallis may lose them very quickly because there's the galleon upgrade from Toady now, and there's a fair amount of war galleys out on the map already. So Hallis gonna find himself losing a lot of resources very soon if he's not careful, and obviously he's gonna run straight into those. Galleys there, starting to kickstart production once again of his own war galleys, but I think he's still doing it a little bit too late. As I said before, he should have been making them way earlier, and now Hallis is up against a much larger army of war galleys here, with Bracer done, which is an upgrade advantage, and Galleon just researched now as well. So I don't think there's any easy way for Hallis to get back onto the water here unless he starts building more docks and pumping out those units very quickly. So Toady going to chase these guys down, and Hallis is going to find himself absolutely trapped if he's not careful. In fact, well, he's not careful because he's backed into a corner of this lake, and if Toady goes down there, he will win and he will get a lot of damage done for free. There's all the fish traps going down, and that's 100 wood each. That's a lot of fish trap, a lot of wood wasted for Hallis. Meanwhile, though, Hallis now, well, trying to get back onto the water. He's doing Galleon himself, but as I say, I mean, he's going to struggle, really, getting back onto the water. However, he is also into the Imperial Age. He's got 5 TCs. He's got a huge economy. The question is, can he make anything of it, and what is he going to do with it? At the moment, he shows no sign of land aggression at all, no sign of pushing through here. And now that Toady has the center map control, it's going to be tough for Hallis to really push this one back, because this lake is going to be huge now that these guys have 10 range. They're going to cover everything on this choke point here on the left side. They're going to be able to cover everything on the right side. And not only that, they're going to start to pick away at things on the shoreline as well. Hallis already losing a few villagers here. So Toady sending some villagers over himself, gonna stick up a castle right on Hallis' side of the map, and Hallis is gonna have to react with these mangonels. He's gonna have to bring the mangonels over here. I don't know where they've gone, but he's gonna have to do something to stop this castle going up, and I think, yeah, these crossbows with +3 range should be enough to kill the villagers. But Toady's just going to send more villagers over. And, well, if he gets this castle up, that could be big trouble for Hallis here. Obviously, these villagers in the protection of the galleons, so under the protection of the galleons, so they should get this castle up relatively easily. Obelisk now done for Hallis as well, but he really is playing the defender's game. Like I said earlier, defending does not pay off in the long run, and Hallis at the moment really doesn't have a whole lot to throw back at Toady here. This castle about to go up any second now. It's on 98%, and there we go. The castle is up with 11 range. He will be damaging this TC quite heavily, killing these villagers, almost one-shotting most of these villagers here, and suddenly Toady is pushing incredibly hard against Hallis here. And this is really almost unexpected. I did not expect Hallis here to be in such a bad position, to be honest with you. I mean, Toady is the 6th seed in this tournament, Hallis the 2nd seed. We would almost expect to see Hallis doing a much better job than this. Toady is really pulling ahead now. He's taken the score lead as well. And back at home, he's still on the 3 TCs, but his economy is really looking good. I mean, he's expanded to most of his map. There is actually a gold up here as well, which he has just spotted out. So Toady's got a big advantage at this stage. Hallis having to deal with castles, trebuchets now as well. Castle for Toady going down slightly to these trebuchets from Hallis, but these trebs coming out quite slowly. And let's have a look at Hallis' eco. There's very little gold left for him, making a lot of arbalest, a lot of skirms. But really, these skirms and arbalest not going to be able to do a great job of pushing into this. The arbalest, of course, going to dive very quickly to the castle, and with all these galleons behind here as well, there's going to be very little that Hallis can do to push into that. I think Hallis' biggest problem at the moment is playing very defensively. He's really playing extremely defensively, and not only that, but that defensiveness, coupled with the fact that he's spending so much time building a huge economy, is causing him to have a lot of problems in this tournament so far. However, Toady's castle has gone down, and Toady's just lost his first treb as well. There's a lot of units here from Hallis, a good mix of arbalest and skirms. So, gonna take down these trebs, and I think he'll do that fairly comfortably. Of course, these galleons aren't gonna be able to hit these units from all the way over here. And Toady may actually lose his forward at this rate, in which case Hallis may be able to regain some ground. But like I said earlier, not having this center lake is a huge deal, and Toady's going to do everything he can to hold on to it, continuing to pump out units from these docks. Oh, we've even got cannon galleons on the water now as well. Cannon galleons try to take down these castles, and of course they will outrange the castles, so that castle on the left side gonna get taken down. And the biggest problem at the moment for Hallis is just losing map control. I mean, he is losing more and more space to Toady's attacks from the water, and he has to do something about it, and the only thing he can really do about it is galleons, and he is starting to build up these galleons on the right hand side. He's got 212 population, would you believe it? Toady's actually on 139 population. Now, I find that hard to believe, and I'm just asking myself, how has Hallis got that many units at this point in time? And I guess the answer is a lot of these galleons over here. And the crazy thing is, Toady on 140 population is absolutely steamrolling Hallis on 218 at the moment. Will Hallis be able to bring this back, though? I mean, you'd think he'd be able to do it, but it's really looking very difficult for him at the moment, as these castles just really start to disintegrate underneath the siege from Toady from the shoreline. So Hallis just biding his time at the moment. He's losing a lot of population room, which is a real problem for him. You know, it's all well and good having all this population, but if you don't have the population room to sustain it, then you're not going to be able to actually make use of all that population, or you know, even continue to make units. It's kind of crazy to see this. Toady's even done the bombard tower research now on the left side. He is going in with the rams, and you know, if Toady wins this, it is purely down to skill and, you know, army composition. He's playing incredibly well. These rams on the left side doing a great job, starting to put in some light cavalry here as well, which will help to deal with these archers as the rams soak up a good amount of damage. But the bombard tower is just really going to push Hallis back, give him less and less space to work with. So Hallis now finally making his move on the water. Galleons going to be coming out into this center lake. And this is going to be the fight that may win Hallis his land back. Toady, I still can't believe Toady's on 150 population. He is so low on population. Oh no! Hallis patrolled in, but half his galleons going back. That is a huge mistake. He sent them back. Well, he didn't send them back. They went back because they didn't go in range. He didn't patrol them far enough forwards. And Hallis going to be forced back, and that was his chance to get the water there. Toady's now alerted to the fact that Hallis is trying to retake the water. He's going to continue to make galleys, I imagine. But he's not at the moment. He should be making more galleons. These guys really should be fighting for this center as much as they can. But I find this crazy. I find this hard to believe. Toady's doing this on such a small, well, not a small economy. He's doing it on a smaller economy. The funny thing is here, Hallis has just got this one capped ram that is demolishing Toady's TC. Toady just lost his TC to that capped ram. Like, what is going on here? This is absolutely nuts. Toady's got 2,000 gold in the bank as well, so he's fine for gold at the moment. He just needs to make sure that he keeps his wood up, because his wood is the most valuable resource to him at the moment, it seems. So this little corner here from Hallis has been discovered. Toady's going to push into that. He's got his cannon galleons in here as well, trying to take down these docks. And if he's got the galleons here, he should be able to push it down. Toady's not got the wood to keep making cannon galleons though, which is a big problem at the moment. Left side. Looks like Toady's continuing to push in. He's got the mangonels in here as well now, and that's really helping him to push forward. Of course, these bombard cannons also helping out incredibly. Really doing a great job. I cannot get over how well Toady is playing this game at the moment. He is something else. Something else. So, a little bit of a push still on the center here. This castle is staying up for Hallis. The question is how long for? Well, he's got a good amount of stone at the moment, actually. He's got 400 stone in the bank, or 350 stone in the bank. So this castle's staying up for now. But Hallis facing up against these Arbalests, losing a few villagers, though the Arbalests are kind of messy. They're going down very quickly to the town centers there. And I cannot believe how well Toady's doing this, to be honest with you. However, Hallis retaking the water by the looks of things, and that's huge, because now, as I say, if he retakes the water, he can retake his island. And Toady losing this treb means that Hallis will keep his castle safe and sound for now. And with Hallis having this many galleons on the water as well, Toady is going to struggle getting back on. I mean, we've seen how long it's taken for Hallis to get back onto the water. It could be the same for Toady now if Hallis continues to control the center. Hallis is managing to defend fairly well on this left side now as well. Toady did a great job of pushing in initially, but now Hallis has kind of got a little bit of a foothold here. Now he's got these trebs to take down these bombard towers. Sending these light cavalry in, gonna die fairly quickly to the Arbalest from Hallis. So I think that Toady may actually start to struggle now on this left side. However, with this onager here, and with the siege that he's adding in, it might make it a little easier. Docks from Toady continuing to make these galleons, and Toady is just out of gold now. I mean, he had 2,000 gold a minute ago. It is all gone. It is all gone. And I think he's just spent that on the onager upgrade and on these these galleons. I don't know what else he's spent it on, to be honest with you. Maybe he built a couple of cannon galleons somewhere as well, but I mean, oh, of course, the bombard towers. But really, he spent that gold so quickly, and Toady's going to have to go to trash very soon. This gold in the north, still a little bit left, but he's not got a lot of villagers gathering there. And Toady back on the water once again. This is a real back and forth game. This is really nice. And, oh man, left side, the onagers, gonna do a huge amount of damage. I think that upgrade may have just been worth it. With only skirmishers defending here, Toady's being able to push this really far back now. And if he continues to send in these units, if he keeps up this mix of light cavalry and arbalest, this could be real challenging for Hallis to deal with, because Hallis, I think, very low on gold. Oh no, he's not low on gold. Wow. Wow. Okay. That was absolutely crazy. I mean, this map was all over the place. Maybe it was Hallis with the gold, and I was getting a little bit confused. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So back and forth. And Hallis GG's out. I don't believe that Toady played that one so well. I mean, Toady's population, that entire game, was less than Hallis's. Hallis, at the end, still with more population. And I'm struggling to find where that population was. I think it was literally all in villages. Hallis just had a ton of villages. He had a huge economy. But he wasn't really investing that heavily in the military. And oh man, that was just incredible play by Toady. It was just purely his army composition and purely his map control in the Imperial Age that won him that. There was no doubt about it. Those galleons won Toady the game, really. And also as well, as I say, his army composition was just great. The light cavalry, the arbalest, and the siege on this left side did a fantastic job at dealing with Hallis's army. And Hallis just didn't have space in the end. I mean, he just had no room to expand. But there you go. What a game. First game